John, what is a brand evolution and digital transformation strategy, and what does it mean for Rangers?
I think to simplify it, I would focus on the word evolution. I think that's the most important word. This is about an evolution. I think any business, any organisation, and Rangers is that, but it's more than that. It's an institution. So any of those, they will see themselves as having a brand. They will see themselves as having a franchise. And in the world of football, they don't come much bigger and richer in heritage and in history than Glasgow Rangers. And so it's about embracing that history, that heritage, but projecting it forward. And that's not a sort of, one-off every X years. That is a continuous process. That's why I say that the most important word is evolution. Because, if you don't evolve, what does that actually mean? You must evolve. It's as natural as life itself.
Why have you decided to create a new brand identity now?
I think now's the perfect time. And I say that for a couple of reasons. As you know, there's quite a bit of excitement now building within the club and a bit of momentum building within the club towards our 150th anniversary, and that's both on and off the pitch. And I think this is about, I talked about evolution. There's another important word here, and it's engagement. You engage with physical assets, but you also engage with digital assets, if I can put it that way. There is businesses and others, they talk about stakeholders. There's no more important stakeholder in a football club than the supporters, and boy, have we seen that. So when your stakeholders, such as supporters, customers, suppliers, staff, sponsors, commercial partners, they're engaging with you these days, not just with physical assets, the physical infrastructure, and everybody can see what we're doing to the physical infrastructure in and around the stadium as we head towards that anniversary. They're engaging, and have been for some time, increasingly via digital assets. This is about making sure those digital assets via which our people engage with us, making sure they are modernized, evolved, and fit for the future. That's what this is about.
Did you consult with supporters before starting the redesign process, and what has the fans' feedback been?
Yes, we did, Nick. It was really important that we did consult with the fans. The website's going to be a key interface with supporters, and it's important that we understood what they wanted from that. So the feedback that we've had from those focus groups has been very positive. I think fans have been pleased to have been involved and been asked for their opinions, but it's a fundamental part of most of the things we're doing going forward is to engage with the fans. This new website and the new brand evolution is all about modernising the club. It's all about taking the club forward. I think the fans will be really pleased with what they see in the new website. We've engaged a company called Stadion to develop it for us. They are one of the leading developers in the industry, work with a lot of the top European clubs, and that's exactly the type of organisation we should be partnering with to produce such a website for us.
What is actually changing?
Well, I think what we'll see is an increased and improved ability to engage with the fans. There will be what's known as single sign-on. So at the moment, the supporters have various points of contact with the club, be that the ticketing system, be it Rangers television, be it hospitality, be it the retail. We've not had any contact with them. So what this website and the new app, which is coming in a few weeks as well, will give us is that ability to engage with the fans, be more proactive. We'll have a better ability to understand what the fans are doing with the club. I think it's important, as we're coming up for our 150th anniversary, that we're looking forward to the next 150 years and that we future-proof the club. And the digital transformation of the club is really important to do that. It's the way the world's moving. And supporters now, particularly younger fans, are used to dealing on digital platforms. And even older people like myself are getting there, slowly but surely. And it's really important from a club's perspective. It's important for our sponsors. It's important for our partners. But most of all, I think it's important for supporters that we're engaging with them in the manner in which they would expect us to engage with them. And the development and the investment in our digital strategy is indicative of the investment that's being made across the wider club. You look at the investment in the football side of things and the facilities at the training ground in Ibrox. You look at the investment that we're about to make in Edmiston House, which is going to be a fantastic project to take the club forward. And you look at the investment that we're making in our retail partnerships, which again comes back to the digital strategy. because that's one of the key reasons that we engage with Pistore.
Why was a new website necessary?
Well, I think, as I've just said there, the digital strategy is really key to how we take the club forward and head into the next 150 years of the club's history. The website we have at the moment was last updated in 2015. This time we're going for best in class. We've engaged with a market leading developer. They've worked with a lot of the leading European clubs, so we see ourselves being in that category and in that band. We need to be continually evolving. And a key part of the club's business plan and the club's strategy is making sure we're at the forefront of developments within the football industry. And that includes revenue growth, it includes fan engagement. But whilst we're evolving, we have to remain true to the values of the club. And those values have been well known for many, many years, and the history and the heritage of the club is very important to us. So it's evolving the club, it's taking us forward, it's being at the forefront of what should happen, but not forgetting it's a fantastic institution.
James, first of all, can you give us the background to today's announcement?
Yeah, absolutely. So today it's another incredibly exciting announcement for the club, and I think it's one that when you take a bit of a step back and we talk about, as we do very often, being best in class and being a leading European club, and actually then looking at what the last few months have brought us. Over 42,000 season tickets renewed now. I think the MyJers membership being at 23,000, and also our new kit and retail partner Castor, and some of the anticipation we've seen behind that in view of when they're going to go on sale and open the new retail store. We've also had a number of new partners, commercial partners, come into the club with the likes of the Energy Check, and we've got a few others in the pipeline, and some of the existing partners are renewing as well. So I think all of that said, that those are probably hallmarks of a top tier club, and I think are testament to the loyalty and the power of the Rangers support. I think what we have got to be cautious on, with all of that being said, is standing still, because clearly we're operating in a very fast moving environment. Consumer habits are changing. The way that football fans are engaging and interacting with football is also changing. So we need to continue to grow, and we need to continue to evolve off the pitch to be the best. So that's why today we're incredibly proud and incredibly excited to unveil our new website as part of our digital transformation strategy, but also in parallel unveil our new brand evolution as well.
Why have you made the change, and why has it been made now?
Yeah, so in terms of the timing, as I said, it's us probably being cognizant of the world that we live in and how those consumer habits have been changing, how fast the world has been moving, and us wanting to show ourselves as a club that are pioneering, are leading from the front, are showing that we're absolutely best in class. So we feel that by introducing these enhancements, we future-proof Rangers in terms of the way that we can modernise the club. And all of that's about having a greater level of fan engagement. All of that's about having a greater platform to grow our commercial revenues. And of course, Nick, that correlates back to us being able to support the football department and allowing Ross and Stephen and the guys to be as competitive as possible. So that's why we felt it was the right moment. In terms of why we felt it was the right activity or the right milestone to take, I think we feel that it will allow us to connect with our existing supporters, to be more engaging, because we'll be digital first, we'll be more powerful in our visual assets. But it also allows us to interface and show ourselves off to a wider audience, if you like. So when we talk about wanting to grow the club's audience, particularly in international territories, because I think that's very important that the club grows overseas, given the profile we've got. We all know Rangers is a global brand, is an institution, but we need to back that up with our digital platforms. We need to back that up with our marketing and our communications. So it's an investment really in the future of the club as we look ahead as well to the 150th anniversary year, which is coming quickly on the horizon. And we feel it gives us some great foundations to modernise and move forward. But in doing so, staying very true to our core, our history, our heritage, and our values. We haven't wanted to step too far away from that, but at the same time, being able to evolve and to modernise, we think is really important.
Comes in two parts, of course. First of all, can you elaborate on the brand evolution?
Yeah, so from the brand's perspective, you're right, Nick, in that this is really a dual announcement, because what we're doing from a branding and a marketing point of view sits fully integrated and synchronized with our digital transformation strategy. So what we wanted to do when we looked at our brand and our marketing executions was ensure that we evolve, was ensure that we modernize, but we do so in a way that is respectful to our heritage, to our history, and to be quite frank, that is befitting of the world's most successful club. So as I said, when we're looking a little bit now on the horizon of the 150th year and that anniversary, we really want to give ourselves a platform that we can modernize and we can recognize that milestone in the most compelling way. So from a branding perspective, we are looking constantly at our facilities, if you like. So iBox will be one where we're now looking at some of the maintenance. We're making sure that it's going to be immaculate when supporters return, but also we want it to look and feel as modern and as Rangers as possible. So the branding allows us to do that. I know at the same time, Ross and Jordan and Hannah up at the training centre are doing the same with that facility to make sure that's as best as it possibly can be. So the brand evolution is really about us having a set of designs and visuals that are of the highest quality and that allow us to be digital first in everything that we do. And one of the things that will probably be most exciting and interesting to supporters within our brand evolution is that enhancement to the Ready Crest. And the Ready Crest has had a real kind of light touch refresh, if you like. It was one that we were very careful in terms of any alterations that we made. But we feel that with some of these light touches, we've been quite powerful in what we've been able to do to bring the Rangers text to the top. So it's bolder, it's more dominant. We've introduced the new Rangers typeface, which I know you're going to hear about as well later on in this piece. And at the same time, we've ensured that the blue within our Ready Crest is the blue that is on the Rangers kit. So it's a Rangers blue. The Pantone matches up like for like. So again, in digital executions, that looks far more impactful, whether you're on a mobile phone or whether you're on a tablet device or whatever else it might be. It's also worth just mentioning that we as a club, we're fairly unique because we've got two crests. Obviously, we're talking about our Ready Crest, but we've also got our Scroll Crest, which is the crest that sits on the kit and the merchandise, and that's one that we're not going to change. It's one that we're very respectful of, but at the same time, in the future, it might be something that we look at in terms of anniversary and limited edition products.
You've touched a bit on it already, but the digital transformation strategy and the website launch, can you just elaborate a little more on that, please?
Yeah, of course. So, I think in the digital world, more than any others, time moves very quickly. And the truth is we've got a website, well, as of yesterday, that was 5-6 years old. So in digital terms, this is particularly aging. It doesn't have some of the functionality we would like to offer the engagement with our supporters that we aspire to. So we set out on a process of finding the best in the industry to build us a new digital platform, an entire digital ecosystem, so a website and app, to ensure that data was at the heart of everything we did. And that's why we're very pleased to work with Stadion, because Stadion really are the best out there. They'll talk with a lot more substance than I, but the work that they've done with other Champions League clubs, other European clubs, the likes of Manchester City and PSG, and to now have a digital platform and a website that has a completely slick user experience, we think is really, really important. And some of the functionality in that, such as it being a multi-language and a multi-content platform, we'll have a live match hub that will come into effect as well in the coming weeks, and bringing our Rangers TV platform into that, which is our OTT offering, to make sure that our entire digital ecosystem is fully knitted together. But beyond the digital experience you'll have on a mobile phone or a tablet or on a laptop, we want to make sure that the match day experience is also enhanced. And we know that we have Edmiston House coming up in a couple of years' time that will allow us to do that. But we also want, in the short term, our stadium connectivity to improve. So the whole thing knits together, and we're close to being able to announce a Wi-Fi solution. I think we've spoken about it, and Stuart Robertson has spoken about it before. That means when supporters come on a match day, they'll have a connected experience, and then they'll be able to use the new Rangers app, the match centre, Rangers TV when they go home. So the whole thing comes together. So it's an investment that the board felt was very, very important in terms of our long-term strategic ambitions, and we're delighted to be able to introduce it to supporters as of today.
Charlene, can you just explain a little bit about the brand evolution at Rangers?
Brand evolution is about being industry leaders. It's making us much more appealing to a wider audience, and we're building a brand that is best in class and really carving that pathway for future-proofing the brand. I think James made reference to it, and that we don't want to stand still. It's imperative that we keep driving forward. We're transforming the club into a digital era, and to do that we need to have one consistent tone of voice and one that really upholds the Rangers standard. I think we need to be digitally native, and this is reflective of our new website and also our new evolution of the Ready Crest. And for decades this has forever been changing, and in 2020 that's no different. The colours and the fonts are another aspect to this. So we have a Rangers brand font and a Ranger brand colour palette that is true to us. And that was really important to define that within Brand Evolution. So our ambition for marketing and our strategy is clear. And then that fans and supporters touch points both on and off the pitch, whether it be in the stadium, in the training grounds, on social, on digital. We have one consistent approach, and that approach is pioneering also. We define Rangers within this brand evolution, and we really kind of carve this pathway. And for us, it was really important that we consulted with fans and supporters in making these decisions and how we evolve the brand. So ultimately what we're trying to do is get from fans and supporters what Rangers were and how we drive forward. And not only was it through fan focus groups, it was also from staff and partners. And everyone is supportive of the direction that we're taking the club. And ultimately that's so important. And when I joined the club, I came from a global sports brand that was industry leaders, and I have really high expectations of how we position the marketing at this club and how we future-proof the brand. So as much as it's ambitious, we also need to respect the heritage of the club. So this consultation and this audit with the fans was really important and imperative to our decision-making process throughout this. And everyone was really supportive of driving the club forward.
What aspects of Rangers appeal to you, and why were you and your company so keen to work alongside the football club?
Yeah, well, it was an honour to work with Rangers. Huge club, huge following. A privilege to be trusted with the project. You know, there's a lot of design agencies out there that would love to get their hands on it, and there was tough competition for that. So we're really pleased and to get the project. We'd already kind of worked with Rangers on a couple of creative campaigns which were very successful, and I think just throughout that work we got to learn a lot more about the club and the club's aspirations, the values, what the fans like, what the fans don't like, and what came through from the feedback from them after our kind of initial pitch was that we did have that kind of knowledge of the club, and we had a lot of passion for the project and a lot of energy in the visuals.
Tell us how you then developed the brief into the final product.
Well, it started with a lot of research. As I said, we had worked with the club before, but there's still a little bit more to learn. So we did research before going for a stadium tour. That was really interesting. We took a lot of photos of a lot of details throughout the stadium, from on the main stand and into the trophy room, which is probably the most exciting part of the research, because you got to see iterations of not just the crest but actually the line rampant over the years, and some of the typography was really interesting. In the rampant was that how it changed shape and lost its shape, I think, over the years. If you look at the previous crest, the kind of definition of the line had gone, and what we'd seen is that actually some of the earlier iterations were actually more precise and had more of that kind of ready feel to it. So we came back to that, and if you actually look closely at the new crest, you'll see that the overall shape, or the shape that the line sits in, hasn't actually changed. We've just refined it within. So when we had that research, there was just tons of development, looking at not just the crest, but the colour blue, which we always felt was a little bit off, wasn't the true Rangers blue. So we've kind of matched it with some of the home shirts over the years, and it's certainly brought it a lot fresher, better for the digital age, and we do feel it's a more true Rangers blue. So we altered that so many times to get it perfect. We altered the line rampant so many times to make it perfect. Where ready sits, the lines in the ball, so many iterations and work went into this before we even presented it to the team. And there was a lot of people around the table from all different aspects of the club, and a lot of people are buying into this. So that work had to go into it, and it was really great feedback. A couple of alterations, we'd show a couple of alternative options as well. And once we got to that kind of final solution, we started the kind of styling of it all, and it was just such an exciting project to work on and see the Rangers brand just evolve into the kind of that kind of aspirational place where the club are going in the moment, and that could take them there hopefully along with them.
How much was it impressed upon you to retain the core assets and heritage of Rangers?
Yeah, that was very important, and pressed upon from the start in the original brief. With any football club, the values and the image is just it's ingrained in history, and you don't want to change that. So there was a massive balancing act to be had, and without that extensive research, we would have never got to the kind of solution that we did. As I've said, the crest has evolved and changed. We didn't want to change any element of it whatsoever, because everything that's in there is Rangers.
I'm Craig Black. I'm an independent designer, lettering artist and typographer, and I'm based in Gourock in Scotland. So my work spans between branding, packaging, typefaces, installation, murals, anything to do with typography and lettering I kind of play about with. My client base is global. I work with people from all over the world, which is fantastic.
Can you give us an overview of the brief you were given? You, of course, developed the new Rangers font. What does that mean exactly?
Well, I was originally briefed to create the type design of Rangers Football Club, which will sit in the new crest, which the guys at Seesaw have created. And from those letter forms, I was asked to create a brand typeface which would be unique to the club. Effectively, Rangers would be owning their own typeface that no one else has in the entire world. And the aim of that typeface was to help elevate the club's brand as an elite football club. So this typeface can be used across all of the Rangers brand, from marketing, signage, to the players' names and numbers on the back of the strips, which I'm extremely excited to see.
Fantastic. How did you develop the brief into the final product, and how did you go about finding the right fit for Rangers?
So I'm a huge Rangers fan, and I've grown up with the club, so therefore I felt like I knew exactly what needed to be done. I went back to my mum's actually and pulled out all my old Rangers memorabilia, from football strips to old programmes, and that was a brilliant experience as well, just going through all of that, and it brought up so many incredible memories for me, and all of this played a part of the project. I ended up doing a tour of Ibrox as well, and I learned even more about the rich history of the club, and looked at the finer details of how typography has been used throughout the club. The typography of such as the Rangers Football Club on the gates at Ibrox and the shape of bluebells kind of influenced the typeface. From that research, I started to sketch out the typeface on pencil and paper, and then I started to fine tune those letter forms from pencil to paper to pen, and then I took that digitally and then effectively creating the font itself. And I remember presenting the typeface to the marketing team at Rangers, and the response was absolutely fantastic. And one clear feedback that I received was that this is Rangers, this feels like a Rangers font. And that for me was a very special moment.
Yeah, were there any other aspects that you your inspiration from, and how did Rangers' 150-year heritage transform itself into what we see today?
I would say looking at the rich heritage and memorabilia in the trophy room was a great inspiration. Also, being a fan, I was in total awe and loved every moment of it. The marble staircase and the architecture of Ibrox all played a part in the creation of the typeface. Looking at those finer details, such as the guys at Seesaw did as well for the whole branding, all played a part. And I know that Rangers means so much to the people, and me included, so to play a part in the history of the club is honestly a dream project for me.
I'm the creative director at Stadion. We essentially create digital products, and we use them as the foundation for shaping bespoke, best-in-class experiences for clients in the world of sport, such as Manchester City, Paris Saint-Germain, and of course Rangers. And what we do is to create these products that allow you to have the tools to create content that engages with your fans and allows the club to thrive from a digital perspective.
What aspects of Rangers appeal to you, and why were you and your company so keen to work alongside the football club?
Aside from being one of the world's iconic clubs, what drew us to Rangers is the club's ambition and its constant drive for success. The club has always had a pioneering spirit and is always at the forefront and always pushing boundaries, and that marries well with our desire to work with clubs that are willing to innovate and to follow their own path. Is a great little partnership. So we're really excited working with Rangers.
Give us an overview of the brief that you were given.
The brief initially was to deliver a simplified experience from the current site and to make sure that the Rangers fans could access the content that they needed to access as quickly and as easy as possible. As part of our process, we run through a series of discovery workshops and fan workshops as well. And this allows us to get to the heart of what the fans want and what the club needs to thrive as a business. And what we helped shape through that was to create something which gives Rangers the tools to create great content and to engage with fans, to simplify the experience and make it easier to use across all of the club's aspects, from news and video content through to ticketing and events and hospitality. And we knew that video was a key part of the club's ambition in the future. Rangers TV is a great experience, and just putting video at the heart of that, of the web experience as well, is very key to what we're doing at the moment.
So how did you then develop the brief into the fantastic final product?
The discovery workshops and the fan workshops are great. They allow us to get into the heart of everything, and just chatting to fans is brilliant anyway. And what we've done is to work through a series of exercises with the club, taking on the full kind of remit of what everyone wants and trying to pinpoint exactly the areas of focus for the new site. And essentially what we have created is something which is very, very bold and very, very contemporary, marries really well with the developing brand that has come from some of the other guys we work with on the project. And it really is just about pushing the presence of Rangers digitally and just making sure that whatever a fan needs and wherever they can find the content that they need within the site, and gives them essentially a home that they can be proud of.
You mentioned the fan engagement, for example. What were some of the other things you took into consideration when coming up with the final product?
So we know that news content is always valuable as well, and the club itself has great podcast content and it has great video content. What's been somewhat lacking has been some of the kind of match statistics. So we're looking to bring a lot more of that into the experience. We're developing a match hub for fans around the world, so that you can look at commentary, you can look at live stats, you can look at team sheets and all of that sort of stuff as you're going through. And that ties in with Rangers TV as well. So for those who can watch the live game, then being able to do that, but have this companion experience that sits next to it as well, is really good.
What aspects of the website are you particularly proud of that supporters should be looking out for?
I think there's two aspects of it. I think the new brand for the club is fantastic. I think what the guys at Seesaw have done for creating that their brand and the new font from Craig as well is just incredible. So just being able to bring that to life digitally has been really exciting. But also personally, I think the new Rangers TV experience that we're working on at the moment is really nice, and brings not only that new brand into it, but also just creates a much cleaner and better viewing experience for video content.
Just to finish, Tristan, this seems to be very much just the start of a fantastic partnership between Rangers and Stadion going forward.
Yeah, definitely. I think we don't just come in and build stuff and disappear. We build relationships and partnerships with our clients, and this is a very, very exciting time for the club. I think there's a huge amount of stuff in the pipeline. We've got a new app coming out. We've got developments to the site. We're looking at single sign-on, so you can log into your account across any of the different club touch points. And I think this is just a very exciting time. We've got a lot more coming, and it's really exciting to work on this as a partner.